All right, here's the Apple breakdown. Getting a lot of questions on Apple. Been holding off on it, but we're breaking down the chart right now for you here at Day Trading Radio. That's right. So I was just going over the February low to the May low. Makes this really nice underlying trend line. Now, it did break down through the 200. And earlier, before I was talking about just having that attack, the bear attack, it almost seems like everyone's coming out now like, oh, orders are, it's almost a chain reaction. Everyone's saying that Apple's slowing down and cutting orders. I don't even know if it's real news yet. I don't even know that. This is all, as far as I know, hearsay or whatever. Just someone's posting it out of some, flaky Apple Parts magazine. But we hear this all the time. Suppliers here are talking about Apple canceling or cutting back on chips and cutting back on this and the components and stuff, which is lead you to believe that Apple's sales are going down. And the warning and the kind of the soft holiday season commentary they put out there really caused us to go. But now you have people jumping on here and kind of pressuring Apple to go down, and even talking about big levels, making it kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy almost. People don't want to get in it. But technically speaking, plus they have all this cash. You got to remember, they have all this cash. Buffett's going to get back in it. This is going to be a great buy here at 179.50. You know what? It really is. It really is. Now that I think about it, and I think about what they could do to move their stock just with the cash they have, even buybacks. You don't think they're buying back their shares down here? You don't think funds are getting to get in? I'm going to be surprised if we get down to that 179 area. But I want to make that as an HPS setup. That's a good level. It's a support line. It's kind of a trend line. It's going to be choppy. We might even get a divergence. If we got a divergence on this, that'd be incredibly great. The weekly is oversold. And the only thing I didn't really check is the monthly. And I'm going to check it now. Yeah, the monthly here is nowhere near, pulling back. But we've had a nice pullback. And that's not to say, this is probably one of the harder ones to predict on a rotation. I mean, because you're going to have one candle push down, and the other one's going to trade into it and reverse and push lower. The next candle next month can push higher. So we're coming to the end of the month. We're going to start a new candle. And we'll see how this candle ends today. But I don't even want to confuse you. Look at that monthly there. I think it all shows up in the daily. I think it all shows up with this 179 and change area. I think people are going to talk about Apple being cheap, basically. Down here, we're up here, $1 trillion company, no longer a $1 trillion company. It's off of 230, 231 now to 185. That's a big move down. So we get a little further move. Absolutely. I think the trade needs to be done. So I want to set that up as an HPS setup. And maybe that hits tomorrow. Maybe it hits tomorrow. What's going to be our giveaway? I don't know. Does the hourly give us any divergences sometimes? We do have a kind of a
Tradeometer NQ oversold
happening here. There's a good lower trend line that I want to extend out. We'll keep an eye on this tomorrow also. And then we have whenever we have a gap, I tend to not use that gap as I typically start the chart off as a new chart or a new trend line where a gap starts here. Sometimes some people will put it up there and make it into a wedge pattern. I'm just going to put it right like this, and there's another small gap down here, and then another gap down here. Look at this: gap down, gap down, gap down, gap down, gap down. Tomorrow, we get down to that, that level we talked about. It maybe brings us down to that lower trend line. That's on the hourly too. That's pretty nice. I'd be all over it. I would. So 179 will get set up for us. It might happen tonight. Looking at the futures, nothing, starting to roll over. We might have a gap down tomorrow on Apple. I think that would be a buy also. A slow scale in process on Apple. All right. So that's Apple set up, and I want to send that out.